When you think about living in Paris, you usually think about something like this, but most of the time it looks a lot different. I'm French and I want to show you what a few moments of real life in Paris look like. And today I decided to start my day trying a new bakery that's super famous in the neighborhood, but I was not the only one who got these ideas because the lines were crazy. Their cakes looked so good and I had waited in line for way too long, so I knew I had to get one, and obviously I couldn't choose, so I actually got two. And before you judge me, I am not about to eat cake for breakfast. I actually already had my usual boring breakfast of bread and butter earlier today, and then I went out and took a walk in the neighborhood. So I live in the Batignolles neighborhood, which is super cute and lively, and today is a really sunny day, so people were out. And that's just the reality of life in Paris. There's just so many people and we're all doing the same things, so there's not a lot of personal space. And by the way, this means that any photo of cool Instagrammable spots you see online, you know, these ones that don't have any people in them, well, they've been taken really early in the morning before people are awake. As a local, I never see those anyways because I prefer going to local areas like this really cute park that you've probably already seen on the channel because I go there nearly every day. And usually it's pretty quiet, but during the weekends, everyone loves to go there. And I really love that because there's people from all ages, from kids to really old people, just enjoying the park. And I feel one main draw of this park and an endless source of entertainment for everyone are the ducks who live in the park. And recently people were going crazy with the ducks because they just had babies and they looked so cute. But anyways, let's eat our cakes. Our first cake is a staple of French food called tarte au citron, which is a lemon pie. This one is just so beautiful. There's a biscuit crust at the bottom, and then it's topped with some beautiful lemon cream. And I think these things over here are lime shavings. Wow, so creamy and crunchy. I really love tarte au citron, but this one is so delicious. So it's a very simple dessert. It's surprisingly very light. This cream that you have on top is not heavy at all. Also, the lemon taste makes everything so fresh. I really love this one. And then the second pastry looks super creative and fancy. I have never seen this before, but apparently it's one of their best sellers. And they're really famous for pastries because the head baker is a meilleur ouvrier de France, which is a special national medal you get when you're really good at a craft. So this thing is called an exotique, just means exotic, but with a French accent. It's exactly the same word. Let's go ahead and try it. The bottom layer here thought it was just plain old cake, but it's actually coconut, so it's really delicious. Then I think the yellow layer is passion fruit, and then at the top we have some banana. This one also is delicious, and I'm really glad I bought it. Also, just wanted to tell you, all of this plus the bread I bought at the bakery was only 12 euros, which is around $13. I am amazed that these are not more expensive. This is so good. So another thing that's part of my daily life in Paris is testing out products for potential sponsors for the channel. So these are real-time translator earbuds by Time Kettle. And I've been really excited to try them because they make translating languages so much easier. So we're gonna retest them out over the course of the next few days. And luckily I have the perfect way of testing this since I am in an international relationship with Bobby, who is American. So we're each gonna speak our first language. Mine is French, his is English, and see what happens.
Donc à partir de maintenant, je vais parler en français et toi tu vas parler en anglais. Ah ouais? Regarde, trop cool, ça traduit le truc.
Wow.
Ok,
This
alors.
is blowing my mind.
Donc maintenant, je veux qu'on parle de ce qu'on va faire aujourd'hui. Donc aujourd'hui, juste après ça, j'aimerais qu'on aille faire les courses parce que je veux faire une tarte à la tomate.
Yes, a tomato pie sounds amazing.
The other thing I want to show you is they have a listening mode. This is, for example, if you want to hear someone make a speech. You know, if I'm telling you about my day, for example, and you have nothing to say, you can do listening mode. Ok, donc là, je parle en français et c'est censé te traduire en anglais en même temps que je parle. Ah ouais, ça marche très bien. C'est fou, hein?
So that really was pretty impressive how you're able to have a normal conversation and have it translated directly into your ear without ever touching your phone. So go ahead and get the Time Kettle WT2 Edge Translator earbuds by clicking my link in the description below, and let's go grocery shopping.
And I always find that so fun in Paris because there's so many cute shops. Like right now, for example, we're on a walking street in my neighborhood of Batignolles. And I always love shopping on this street because there's always so much going on. I usually stop at different little shops and just get what I need. And I really like that about Paris, that there's a lot of these independent shops that you can always find in your neighborhood within walking distance. All of this was around 12 euros, which is around $13.
So I'm gonna have a little meal prep session, and I'm making a tomato tart for tomorrow because tonight we have our friends from Chicago who are visiting and we're gonna show them one of our favorite restaurants.
Don't expect anything fancy, but let's just make that together while I'll tell you a few very important things about living in Paris. Okay, so the first thing I want to explain, and that's not really obvious from just watching this video, is that this is not a work day for me. So this is why I'm just hanging out, just doing random stuff, eating food all day. It's not a work day. I'm saying that because Paris is a big city, so things are really expensive. As a reminder, my rent is $2,200 per month that is shared with my boyfriend, but that's still a lot of money, and you do need to make that money. So usually you'll just find me all day working at my desk. So it's a bit less glamorous than what you can see when you're just watching YouTube videos about life in Paris. And yeah, I really find myself lucky because I do have a job that I can do at home and that I really like. But for most people, daily work actually involves taking the metro, going far away from Paris, because a lot of jobs are not in the city center, they're actually in the suburbs. Like La Défense, which is the business district that's around 20 minutes away from Paris, where you can see all the skyscrapers. So I was telling you, things are really expensive in Paris, and how much of a good experience you have is directly tied to how much money you have, like in any big city. In France, the salaries are not as high as in the US, so you can really easily get priced out of Paris. So a lot of people, and this is supposed to be with mustard, but I like it better with pesto, by the way. So a lot of people tend to just live in Paris for a few years when they're young or in college, and then leave to a smaller French city. But I feel even taking all of this into account, Paris is way more affordable than New York, for example, and the quality of life is so much better. So the first thing is, a lot of people who have corporate jobs actually have a lot of job security. Like, it's really hard to get fired in France because of how the work laws work. And I remember when I was working in New York, some people just were there one day and then gone the next because they just had been fired. Also, we all get universal healthcare, so people are less stressed about getting on health insurance plans. So I feel the work-life balance in France is so much better than in the US when you have a corporate job. And, you know, granted, I don't have a corporate job, but you can really feel that in Paris because people are just out and about and enjoying their lives. And also people don't talk about work that much. Like, keeping your work and your private life separate is a really big thing in France. And I think a lot of my friends don't know what I do for work. I only vaguely know what they are doing because every time we see each other, we speak about personal stuff and not work stuff. So I'm officially done with the tart. I'm gonna put it in the oven.
And here's the finished result. One thing I really love about living in Paris is that people are always visiting all the time. And this week we had our friends Will and Mary at home who were visiting us from Chicago. So together we're testing out a restaurant that I've really been wanting to try since I discovered it when I was filming my food video a while back. So on the table we have a few different dishes that are a creative twist on traditional French food. Like, for example, this green dish is actually marinated leeks with ginger and rosemary. And it was actually so good. Then we also had this beautiful fried cheese, and just the name, it sounds so delicious, and it really was served with a lemon and dill sauce. Then we also had this veal carpaccio served with burrata, and obviously that's an Italian-inspired dish, but it was also really good. And by the way, these were only our starters. We still have mains and dessert waiting for us, so it's a pretty big meal. Okay, so here are our mains. So this is the very famous steak frites, which is just a steak with fries, and the fries here were the best I've ever tried. They were so delicious and served with homemade mayo. It was so perfect. Then we ate steak tartare, which was made in a different way. You could taste that the meat was super fresh and all the herbs used as well. And then we continued on with the Italian theme with the eggplant milanese, which is just breaded eggplant, served with a really delicious sriracha sauce. And as you can see, the portions are not massive here, and we're sharing everything, so this is why we're able to have such a long and big meal. And that's kind of how it goes in France when you're having meals with your friends. It's kind of an all night long experience. And here's our dessert. So here we had a delicious chocolate mousse that had been lightly sprinkled with sea salt. And this really cool dessert that I have no idea what it is, but that that had some meringue in it and also raspberries. This last one was so delicious and was the perfect way to end our meal. So that's also where I'll leave you, and I'll see you soon in the next video.